We scroll down and we're going to see the muscles that we have, for example, in our head. Remember, these are going to be axial muscles. And these are obviously going to be skeletal muscles. So then what we have in here are going to be this muscle. It's going to be the frontalis muscle. This is your frontal bone. Therefore, this muscle is going to be frontalis. Frontal part of our eyes is going to be orbicularis oculi. When it's round, it's going to be called orbicularis. This is going to be orbicularis oris. Muscles down here, they're going to depress your mouth and your lip. So therefore, they're going to be called depressors. You're going to have depressor angulis oris, depressor lava inferioris, and you're going to have mentalis in here. On the side, you're going to have the rhizoris that are going to elevate your lip, the corner of your lip up when you are smiling. What elevates your lip up is you're going to have two muscles that right here that will go towards your zygomatics bone that is right here. So therefore, these two muscles, one of them is going to be the zygomatics major, and the other one is going to be the zygomatics minor. Okay, so then right here, we said this is going to be frontalis. If it's round, it's going to be orbicularis oculi. This one is also round, therefore this is going to be orbicularis oris. These ones are going to be two muscles going towards your zygomatics bone, so therefore these ones are going to be the zygomatics major and zygomatics minor. You're going to have a muscle in here that is going to elevate the corner of your mouth, like when you're smiling. That's going to be the rhizoris. And these muscles right here will depress your lips, like when we are depressed. This one is going to be depressor angulis oris, depressor lava inferioris, and mentalis. These are some of the muscles that we see on the front part of our face. If we scroll down right here, hopefully we have a lateral view. Right there, we have a lateral view of these muscles. As I said, this is going to be the frontalis. Why? Because this is the frontal bone. So this is the frontal bone. So this is going to be the muscle. It's going to be frontalis. This is the temporal bone. So therefore, this muscle in here is going to be temporalis. This is the occipital bone. So this is going to be the occipitalis. Right here, we have the parietal bone, but we don't have a muscle in there. That's why you see this top part right there white, because there's no muscle in there, right? The muscles in here are represented with the red color. So then right here in the top, we do not have a muscle. We have a membrane there called the gallia aponeurotica. As I mentioned, this muscle right here that you can see on the side, this is going to be the orbicularis. This one in the mouth also is going to be orbicularis because they're going to be round. But this one is orbicularis oculi. This one is going to be orbicularis oris. As I mentioned, these ones are going to depress. This is going to be depressor angulis oris. Right here, you're going to find this big muscle right here. This big muscle is going to be called the masseter. That's the muscle that we're going to use for chewing. Every single time we are chewing, we're going to be using this muscle to chew our food. Right here, this is going to be the buccinator that's going to help us, for example, to play the trumpet, to inflate the balloon. You're going to use this muscle for that. Okay, so those are the muscles that you have right there in your face. In your neck, we're going to have this flat and wide muscle. This is going to be called the platysma. The platysma muscle is this muscle that we have right here. It covers basically then your entire neck. If you remove that muscle, there's going to be obviously other muscles in that area that we don't see because the platysma is covering those. However, we can see through the platysma, we can see this big muscle right here. It's also in your neck, so it goes like this. This big muscle that you have right there. So this muscle right here is going to be called the sternocleidomastoid. It's called like that because it goes from your sternum, it touches in your sternum, in your clavicle, and in the mastoid process right here. In your neck, then basically you're going to have the platysma that covers the entire neck like that, and the sternocleidomastoid that you can see this big muscle that you have in the neck. That muscle is going to help us to move our neck from left to right and right to left. And you can see that in here again. You can see right here the platysma in there. But you can clearly see in here the sternocleidomastoid muscle right there. That's more or less in the anterior part of your neck and on the side of your neck. In the back of your neck, you're going to have these muscles right here, which are going to be the splenius capitis. Splenius capitis in there. That is going to help us obviously move the neck and the back in particular. We scroll down. In our thorax, by going down from our head down into our thorax, we went from our head to our neck. Now we go to thorax. In there, we're going to have two main muscles, internal intercostals and external intercostals. External intercostals And external intercostals are going to be located in between your ribs. These are your ribs right here. So then as you can see there, you're going to have these muscles right there. And you can have them in here as well. Okay, external intercostals are going to be located most of the time on the back, kind of like attached to your vertebral column. And the external intercostals are going more like on the front. They're going to be attached mainly to your sternum right here. If you look at the front of your thorax, you're going to have in here a muscle called the pectoralis major. The pectoralis major covers your thoracic cavity like this in the front. If you remove the pectoralis major, you can see in here another muscle, which is going to be called the pectoralis minor. It's a smaller, and it's in this area, and it's underneath the pectoralis major. That's why it's going to be called the pectoralis minor. After that, we have the abdomen. In the abdomen, we have the middle of the abdomen is going to be rectus abdominis. The rectus abdominis is what colloquially we know as the six-pack, as you can see right there. But this muscle, the rectus abdominis, covers the middle of your abdomen. The side of the abdomen, right, all this area right here, it's going to be covered by three other muscles. They are going to be called the internal oblique, external oblique, and transverse abdominis. You can see those right here. They actually, they are showing like a little window in here. Right, this is going to be the external oblique. Then you have the internal oblique there and the transverse abdominis right there all the way inside. So we have three layers of muscles. The superficial one is going to be the external oblique. The middle one is going to be the internal oblique, and all the way at the bottom is going to be the transverse abdominis, and that's what you see right here. You have external, internal, and all the way inside, you're going to have the transverse abdominis right there. So with that, we have covered basically our entire abdomen. If we go to the back of our body, we can see in there muscles as well. Now, if you look at this view right here, you can see that in the back, we have these two big muscles right here. This is going to be the trapezius that covers all this area, in your back. It's a big and large muscle that we have in there. In addition to that, we have this one right here. This is covered a big part of your back as well. This is going to be the latissimus dorsi. So your back is basically covered by two main muscles. This one right here is the trapezius right there, and this one right here is going to be the latissimus dorsi. So they are going to be responsible for covering most of your back, at least the superficial part of it. Deeper than that, so if we remove all these muscles, so then we can look at this other view right here. So your back is being divided in two areas. This is going to be the superficial muscles. And these ones are going to be some of the deep muscles that we have. Once you remove the latissimus dorsi and the trapezius, you should be able to see these muscles right here. Your book is depicting in here the scapula. Here's the scapula. And this is the spine of your scapula right there. That's the spine of the scapula. So therefore, this muscle on top of the spine, that's going to be the supraspinatus. This muscle below the spine, that's going to be the infraspinatus. Below those two muscles, you're going to have the teres minor and teres major. Next to the internal border of your scapula, you will have in here the rhomboid major and rhomboid minor. And right here, you have your deltoid. We scroll down right here. You have the same thing that I just showed you. Right here, you have the trapezius in there, the latissimus dorsi in here. Right, this is an actual cadaver. It appears to be an actual cadaver in there.